Everyone, this is a generic video guide for UK visa interviews for students applying to any university. The purpose of this is to provide some sort of guidelines to the students with the help of which they can prepare better and to make them understand what an ideal answer will be to the various questions that they will face during the interviews. Starting with a few general details about the visa interview. So first, it'll be a one-sided video interview, meaning that you will have your system in front of you, but only your side of the video will be on. You won't be able to see the other person. Second, it can range from 30 minutes to 90 minutes. Now, 90 minutes may seem a lot. Of course, that is the extreme end, but you don't have to worry that there'll be a lot of questions in the interview. There won't be a lot of questions. It is because of the nature of interview, it gets elongated, but the questions are not many. It is because it is typed and recorded throughout. That's why it becomes lengthy. So this is also one of the advantages which the interview has, or which the students will have in the interview, that they'll find sufficient time to collect their thoughts before answering the interviewer. And again, no notes or no people will be allowed in the room that you'll be using to interview, so you have to prepare accordingly. Is the interview difficult or is it easy? In a way, it's easy, I would say, because the students are already aware of 85 to 90% of the questions beforehand. So 85 to 90% of the questions will come from the list of questions or what we will be discussing. So it is just that you have to prepare properly. A few do's and don'ts that can help you as a guideline while you prepare for your interview or while you appear for your interview. Prepare and not cram your answers. So you have to be prepared, that is basic minimum, but you cannot cram your answers to each and every word, because when you go for your interview and when you answer, when you have crammed your answers, it will come in a certain way and the interviewer will be able to figure out very easily. You should be in touch with someone and take help from someone who knows how to handle visa interviews. Otherwise, just by yourself, if you prepare, there may be a chance that you don't know what is expected of a student in a visa interview. So do appear for mocks and get in touch with someone who knows how to handle the visa interviews. You also have to know your answers or what you're answering. You need to know them because there can be cross questions as well. And just giving an example, if you say that you have chosen a university because it has won, let's say, an outstanding financial performance award, and when there is a question, what does this award denote? So you need to be able to at least answer back, and you need to know what you have said. You need to have a clear intention in mind while answering the question, or you need to know what does the interviewer want when they ask a particular question. For example, if an interviewer asks you, why have you chosen this university? So the interviewer is trying to determine whether you have done your research genuinely and whether you have done sufficient genuine research. So while answering back, your goal should be to convince the interviewer and demonstrate that you are a genuine student and then you have done uh, original research by yourself before choosing the university. Your answers, your entire interview should be coherent. It is basic minimum. An example, earlier you said that I wish to take up this course because I want to do business ahead, but in your future plans, you're saying that I want to work in a good MNC, not coherent. So you need to take care of that. And again, be original, meaning that you can't take notes from a friend of yours who has previously given an interview, and you need to have your own answers, have your own research. A few things that you should avoid While preparing and appearing for the interview, you can't give vague answers. What do you mean by vague answers? For example, an interviewer asks you, why have you chosen a particular university? You can't say, I like that university or that university is good, that's why I've chosen it. You need to present details and specific answers to the questions. If there is a question, why UK, you can't say that many students go to study to the UK and that's why I go. That is not a research. You can't use the exact words from a particular source. For example, you may be required to explain the modules in your interview. So you can't just use the copied words or the exact same words from the website and say that. Of course, there can be a mixture. You can use the words that are there, but it can't be the same language that is there on the website. Key question areas or research areas, or these are the areas where students have to focus and they have to do an all-round research, specifically detailed into each and every area which I have mentioned over here. Also, I made a distinction in the type of questions. So there can be a fact-based question and a research-based question. And why I've made a distinction is to help you answer a research-based questions in a better way. So a fact-based question is something like, what course are you studying? So that is a one-liner answer. You don't have to elaborate much. But then there can be a research-based question. For example, why have you chosen this particular course? Therein you can't give a one-liner answer or two-liner answer. You need to be able to demonstrate your research, and that is what the interviewer is seeking from you. So you need to be able to first understand what exactly the interviewer wants you to answer, and then you can answer accordingly. First question, what are your course details? You need to know everything related to your course in terms of the general details, your full course name, your study duration, if there is an internship, the internship duration, start date, end date, if there is a pre-masters or pre-sessional that the student is going through. You need to know all these things. These are basic things. Why did you choose this course? It is a research-based question and you need to convince the interviewer with your answers regarding your choice of course. Tell them what are the benefits that you derive out of this course. How is this course connected to your previous studies or the work that you were doing? How will this course fulfill your career objectives or help you become what you want to become ahead in the future? What are the modules and the course content that will help you achieve the skills and knowledge that will be helpful for your career ahead? You need to think in these lines and make an answer for yourself. There's a popular cross question under this question, why not any other course in this domain or in this area? For example, a business student may choose international business management. There may be a cross question, why not an MBA? So the student should know actually why they have gone into a particular course and should be able to come up with answers to these questions. What will you learn in your course? So the students need to go through the course page thoroughly. They should be aware of what exactly they are going to go through in the course, what their course comprises of, what are the key areas that you will be studying. You should also be compulsorily aware of your year-wise modules, the names of your modules, what are the modules that you'll be taking, and you should be able to explain any of the modules in at least 2-3 lines. And it is not expected from a student to be aware a lot about all the particular modules, but again, there can't be any module that you don't know about or you're unable to explain when the interview asks you to explain. A question which has frequently come up is, please tell me the modules that you like and that you find challenging. So you need to be able to tell 2 or 3 modules with reasons why do you like them and why do you find those modules challenging. Does this course relate to your previous study or work? If a student has a similar background or has done a similar course, then the students may not even get this question because it's easy to justify. It is for students who plan to change their stream or wish to go for a course which is not similar to their previous course or previous work experience, that they need to think of reasons in order to convince the interviewer regarding their change of plans and what are the benefits that you will derive by changing your plans or changing your area of course. A question which is specifically relevant for master's candidates: what is the reason that they have chosen to do a master's degree in the first place? If students have been working after their bachelor degree, why did they choose to discontinue their work and do a master's degree? For students who have a longer gap from their last study, it is specifically very crucial for them. They need to be able to justify why, after such a long period of work or whatever activities that you have been doing, you have chosen to do a master's at this point of time. What have you been doing since completion of your last study? So if a student has been working or has relevant activities to support the duration in between, it is fine. They need to be fully aware of all the details related to their work or any other activities. But if there is a gap in between, then the student has to be able to justify why was there a gap in between. What research have you done to select universities in the UK? This is one area where uh, a lot of refusals come because students are unable to demonstrate their research about universities in the UK. Students, even though they do their research, they need to be able to demonstrate the interviewer how have they done their research when it is asked. So ideally, let's see what are the factors that students consider while doing a research for universities in the UK, or how do they do their research. So starting with the factors, I listed a few factors that students are would be considering, starting with the rankings. There are various rankings and any student would like to go to the best possible ranked institution. The course that they want to study, is it available in the university? They would check that first. Or is there any specific module that the student wants to study and it is available or not available in the university? Every student has a budget in terms of what they can pay as fees. There are universities maybe having a fee structure of £40,000 a year. Not all students would be willing to pay that fees. The entry requirements, uh, every student would like to go to the best ranked university, but are they able to meet the entry requirements of that particular university? There may be specific criteria in terms of location or a city they want to study. Now, bringing all these things in picture, ideally every student would want to go to the best ranked institution, of course with the availability of their course in that particular university, which comes under the budget of the student, and they are able to meet the entry requirements of that particular university. So the students need to think in all these factors and parameters and be able to come up with a suitable answer. This is the second aspect of the same question. How did you do your research? Basically, the student has to tell the process that they have followed to do their research. What are the various platforms they have used? Give details. The more detailed the answer, the more convincing it is. What are the various platforms that you have used? What are the rankings that you have used? The websites that you have referred to, the fairs or webinars that you have attended of specific universities or specific agencies, that if you're using an agent, anyone whom you have consulted or spoken to, have sought feedback from, mention all these details. Now, after doing the research, ideally students should be able to shortlist a few universities out of the various universities available in the UK, and they need to be able to justify and tell the interviewer on what basis have they shortlisted these universities. For example, if a student says that I have selected XYZ university, these are the three universities that I have selected, and the interviewer asks on what basis did you select these, or why only these three universities out of 100 plus universities in the UK, this answer will be wrong because I like those universities, that's why I've selected these universities. You need to be able to tell the basis why have you selected only these three or four universities or five universities uh, out of the various universities. Did you use an agent to make an application? If you have used an agent, you need to know all the details about your agent. What role did your agent play in your entire application process? So ideally, there are things that an agent can do, and there are few things that an agent can't do. The students have to do that. So you need to know those things. Why did you choose this university? So after doing all the research related to the universities, you will ideally shortlist a few universities and ultimately be choosing one university to go for your studies. And it is certain that you will be required to explain your choice of university and give reasons why you have chosen one particular university. So I have written down a few general factors that can be considered. Of course, there can be other factors as well. Let's say if a university has a strong rankings, if they have some good achievement award, those can be the reasons. Then there are course specific strengths or rankings of the university. So the narrower or the more detailed your answers are, the better it will be. And one mistake that some students do over here is they will they will give reasons which are not related to their particular subject area. For example, they may say that the university has probably received an award for hospitality while they're going for a business course. So this shouldn't be done and should be avoided. And again, in terms of rankings, there may be a cross question: why not a better ranking university than what you have chosen? For example, someone has chosen a 60th ranking university in the UK. So you should also be able to justify why not, let's say, a 30th ranking university in the UK. And so the best way is to go to the university website of your chosen university, see the details and various awards achievements that are there, also related to your course, not only the generic rankings but specifically related to your course. It will help because the interviewer understands, the more detailed your answers are, the interviewer understands that you are a genuine student and you've done a genuine research. You can also tell them if there are any modules or specifications in your course content because of which you've chosen a university. How does the fee compare to the other shortlisted universities? For example, you have chosen 5 universities, more or less they are the same ranking universities, and has someone has a lesser fee structure, then you can go for it. Or if someone is a higher ranking university and it has the same fee structure, then it makes sense. One thing that students should avoid is they shouldn't be vague about their answers, or they can't mention generic reasons like many students do that. Because the university has a multicultural society, student friendly environment, the teachers are friendly. So these are very basic. The university has good facilities, So all the universities in the UK, they have these things. So these can't be your reasons to choose a university. And again, it will be counted as a vague answer, which students should not do it. Another part of the same question is why not other universities? And it is always helpful to make a comparative analysis and show why one particular university or what are the benefits of one particular university as compared to others. It becomes a bit easier when you compare universities. The interviewer will be able to understand it better and you'll be able to explain it better. So you can consider a few factors and others as well and make a comparative analysis with a few universities. And why did you choose that particular university only? Why did you decide to study in the UK? Again, avoid general or generic vague answers like it is a multicultural country and many students go there. My friend studied there. Find out facts and information on the website, support it with good statements, and again, draw a comparative analysis comparing it with other popular destinations across the world. Why did you not want to study in your home country? What are the benefits that you will get by studying internationally across any country or in the UK as compared to your study if you had done in your home country? Why did you not select a university in a city other than London? This question may come up for a student who has chosen a university inside London. And one mistake that some students do over here is when asked this question, they would start enlisting the benefits of studying in London, whereas previously in the shortlisted universities, they would have considered universities outside of London as well. So understand the question and then answer accordingly. What are your future plans, post-study plans or career plans? Now, intention to return to anyone's home country is something that every student should demonstrate because this is something that all the interviewers will be looking forward to hear from the students. And they also have to demonstrate the research that they have done regarding their career or what is it that they're going to do after the completion of their studies. So again, the answer should be detailed. Please share as much as details you can and try to do a detailed research. Again, a few wrong statements that students make would be, let's say, I want to work in a good company after the completion of my study. Now, if you elaborate this, it is fine, but if you just say this one, this is a very vague answer. You need to show your details, you need to show your research. Students who have business plans after the completion of their studies, they will be asked about what business plans do they have. They need to have some or the other detailed plan that they can tell to the interviewer. Students who plan to join their own family business need to tell the benefit that they will get by doing this course in the UK. Because joining family business doesn't require a degree. So how is it that you'll benefit? What different will you be able to do once you do your studies over there? And especially master students, they need to be well researched regarding this even more than the bachelor students because they are a step ahead and the interviewer will expect much more detailed research regarding their career and future plans. Also, a question can come up, how is it that you have done your research? So tell them how have you found out the information, what all platforms have you utilized. Don't say that I've done my research on internet. Again, it's a vague answer. Internet is very vast. Tell them specific websites that you have visited, any other specific platforms that you have utilized for your research. How will you be supporting yourself during your study in the UK? This is a financial question. When they ask for how you'll be supporting, they mean how you'll be supporting financially. And why the interviewer is asking you this question is because he or she wants to determine your financial strength or financial stability, and are you in a financial position to take care of all the expenses that you will be incurring while you study. So demonstrate your financial stability. Anything, take the help of any fact with the help of which you can demonstrate the interviewer that you are financially stable, you have sufficient income, savings, investments, all these things. Work on all the points which are listed on the slide, and you are compulsorily need to be aware of all the details related to your financials. This is a very key area on which students are evaluated. Please give details about your financial sponsor, and you need to determine who is your financial sponsor, whether you are self-sponsoring, whether your parents are sponsoring you, or your husband in case if you're married. Then you need to know details about, let's say, your sponsor's occupation. They may ask you details about sponsor's occupation, and they have in the past interviews have actually gone deep in terms of asking questions about sponsors occupation. They'll ask questions like if there are any dependents on the financial sponsor. They would overall basically again try to ascertain what is your financial standing, and whether you have the financial capacity to bear all the expenses that you will incur ahead. Now, for students who wish to apply for a spouse visa, they need to be even more research, and they need to be on top of questions like what are your spouse's future plans, or what are they going to do in the UK. They need to be aware of their husband's or wife's occupation, what are they doing, and all the details about it. A few miscellaneous questions other than what we have discussed previously. One which I would like to discuss here is question second: what facilities did this university had that others did not have? So this is one question which I have seen is asked to students when they say that they have chosen the university because of its facilities, or facilities is one of the strong reasons for choosing the university. Then it is not a wrong answer to give, but you need to be able to justify what facilities are there in that university which are unique than others, because facilities like library, gym, cafe, all these are there in all the universities in the UK, so they can't be your reasons to choose a university. Second, students also get this question, uh, can you cost benefit your study in the UK? So basically what the intention of the interviewer in asking this question is, you'll be spending a huge amount of money in your education. So how will that benefit you, and how is it that you plan to recover that money in the future? So your answers should be based on that. Thank you and happy preparations.